And welcome everyone. Waiting to make sure that video is working and on. It looks like it. Yes. Okay. So, welcome. My name is Kim Lakosky. I'm a health and mindset coach and creator of the Aligned Body Mind Method, a 4-month VIP coaching program where I help women take back their power from food so they can show up as the amazing women that they are and feel confident in their bodies. And we do that through the 3 pillars inside this program: releasing old patterns and beliefs, rewiring our brain for sustainable change, and resetting our bodies in a way that feels good on our own terms. So, I am here today because we're talking about our friend, the scale. And some of you might question, oh, is it really my friend? Because there's lots of days that I'm hating what that scale tells me. So, if this is you, if you are a daily weigher, that was me for a long time. Maybe you're a weekly weigher. Maybe you don't weigh yourself. Maybe you go by whether your clothes fit or you just don't even think about it. Awesome. But if you're anything like I was for a very long time, I would get that scale out and I would start off, like once a week. Oh, but partway through the week, well, I want to see if I'm making any progress. So let's jump on and see. And then maybe be like every couple of days. And then, well, what's it hurt? Just I want to see if the number's gone down at all. So I was weighing myself every day. And I bet you know how that went. Sometimes it was okay. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I lost a pound or half a pound, or yes, celebrating. And then all those other days where like it either didn't change or went up a little bit or maybe it went up a lot, right? Devastated. Absolutely devastated. And it wasn't like, oh darn it. It was, what happened? I'm failing. I'm not making progress. Things aren't changing. Nothing's getting better. Why can't I figure this food thing out? Why did I eat the extra cookies last night? I must have eaten too much yesterday. I must, right? It was this voice in my head that just went on and on and on. And that's how I started off my day, right? Because we don't weigh ourselves at nighttime. We weigh ourselves when we're going to get the lowest number possible, which is we get out of bed, we go use the restroom. We strip down all our clothes. We stand, including the ponytail holder in my hair, right? Stand on the scale, balancing on one foot, holding our breath just to make the number go down a little bit lower, right? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's done it like that. Here's what happens though. When we do that, we see natural fluctuations in our body weight that are supposed to happen. Okay. And we see those fluctuations, that numbers going up and down, up and down. Okay. Every time we weigh ourselves. And we create meaning around that because we think that it's supposed to just kind of keep going down consistently. And it doesn't. There's just no way that it doesn't, that happens. Okay. And anyone who tells you that that's, oh, well, you should see weight loss every time you weigh yourself. That is not the way weight loss happens. That is not how our body processes changes and adapts to changes in our lifestyle. And that's not the focus of this, what I'm talking about today. Just trust me that weight loss is not a linear scale. It isn't. It is up and down for good reason. So, but when we get on the scale, we want to see that number go down. Okay. And then when we don't, we have all this drama in our head going around like, oh, what a failure. Right. So I want to explain exactly why that happens so that you understand the harm that weighing yourself might be doing more, and it might be more good. I'm sorry, it might be more harm than good. Okay. And then what you can do about it. So here's my story. I tried to finally at one point realized, okay, I'm getting on the scale and it is basically ruining my day. Right? I was starting off my day devastated and judging myself and feeling terrible. I'm like, okay, this is not helping anything. This is not helping me get to a place where I'm feeling healthier in my body. So I kind of several times told myself, okay, I'm not going to weigh myself. Well, that didn't last long. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take a little peek. So then I asked my husband, could you hide this scale? Okay, so I just don't even know where it is. He's like, okay, sure. And he put it away. Well, I don't know, a couple weeks later or whatever, I catch a glimpse of it in on his side of the closet. I'm like, ooh. So I went ahead and weighed myself. And I started doing that for a few mornings, and I finally said, this is ridiculous. And I took it, I gave it to him. I said, no, I mean, I need to you really hide it. Like really hide it so I cannot find this. And he was like, you're crazy, but okay. So he hid it. I don't know where he put it. Like I really had a hard time breaking up with the scale because I kept looking for that number to validate um, any progress that I was making, validate that I was okay, validate that I was doing things right. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm sure you can relate to that. Okay, for some of you who are watching that, and if you are watching live, please say hi. I love knowing who's catching me live. If you're watching on the replay, put replay. So if you are someone who weighs yourself regularly, and I'm here suggesting that you not do that. Okay, I'm not telling you, but the thought of not doing that, you might have that panic go off in your head like, no, to give that up? Absolutely not. And that's fine. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just asking you, how attached are you to the scale? Okay? Because here's the truth about the scale. Okay, I'm going to lay it all out for you and just, this is the truth. Okay? First, the number on the scale is going to change day to day, and that is supposed to happen. Okay? It can change up to a few pounds easily day to day. What we ate the day before, okay? Or even a couple days before. You eat a lot of sugar, that causes inflammation in your body. That inflammation can last for more than just a day, it can last several days or longer. Salt makes you retain water, whether you've drank a lot of water, any refined carbohydrates. Okay, all those things are going to make you hold on to water in your body. Where you are in your monthly cycle. Okay, our weight fluctuates depending where you are in your menstrual cycle. Your whether you had a hard or easy workout in the preceding days, whether where your hormones are at. There's whether you had alcohol the night before or not. Okay, how well you slept that the night before or didn't sleep well. Okay, there's all kinds of reasons that weight, that number will change. Okay, so when we go and look at that number, all that number is a data point. It is a number that is a measurement of the mass of your body at that moment in time. You wait an hour, the mass of your body will change. Okay, you go eat something, you're up moving around, you have some water, it's going to change. Okay, so it changes over the course of the day, it changes day to day, it changes week to week, up and down, up and down. What happens is, though, we create meaning around that number. I'm not doing it well enough, I haven't figured out this weight loss, I'm too heavy, the number's too high, right? It means that I'm a failure, I'm screwing up, right? I'm never going to be able to get to my goals. I'm going to feel happy and successful when I see a certain number. Okay, here's the thing. No one else knows what that number is. Okay, maybe when you get weighed at the doctor's office. I get that. Okay, but really, no one else knows what that number is. No one sees it. And yet we create this meaning of as if everyone, as if we're walking around with our weight blazing across our chest, as if everyone can see it. No one knows. Okay? But all it is this blinking number. We stand on this metal or maybe plastic, square, okay, every morning, and it flashes this blinking number up at us. The number doesn't mean much. It really doesn't, unless we give it meaning, unless we let it have meaning, unless we give it meaning around how we're feel about ourselves, around whether we're succeeding or failing, around whether we feel good about ourselves or we feel like we are screwing up, right? Our value, our level of success. We give this all these meanings to this number, and it's just a data point. That's all it is. And it's not even a very accurate data point when we're trying to make changes in our body. There's much more accurate and better ways to measure progress. I talk about those with it inside the Aligned Body Mind Method. I encourage women to take a break from the scale. Some of them do, and some of them don't, because I don't dictate rules. I give guidelines, and we work together with recommendations and explain why this is important. Everyone gets to go through the program and work with me and figure out what works for them so they do it on their own terms. Okay, that's what coaching is. I'm not just handing a bunch of rules. Coaching is teamwork. We work together to find the best system that works for you. So some women decide to break up with the scale. Some women don't, and they kind of hang on to it. And then maybe a few months in, they're like, oh yeah, I am ready to go without it. It all depends. But if you're a woman who's struggling with the scale, who's getting on and feeling horrible about yourself, okay? If you're getting off that scale and feeling really bad about yourself, I want to ask you to think about something. How well do we take care of something that we don't like? Okay? If you are trying to improve your health, build your fitness, feel better in your body, that means taking really good care of yourself. Okay? We're not going to take good care of something if we don't like it, right? So if you think about, like, if I've got some clothes of mine that I really don't like very much, I don't care if they end up in a humbled heap on the corner of my closet floor. But if I've got some clothes that I really love, like I feel great in them, and I love them, right? They feel good, they fit me well. I'm going to make sure that those clothes are washed well, they are hung up carefully on a hanger in my closet, right? They're not going in a heap on the floor. I'm going to take really good care of them because I like them. Okay? Who are the people in your life? If you're a mom, who is it in your life that you take the best care of? Probably your kids, because they are the most important. You love them so much. What we love, we take amazing care of. The same thing goes for our body. If you want to get to your goals, you need to take really great care of yourself. That's not going to happen if you're starting off your day with judgment, self-criticism, right? That voice that goes in the back of your head, right? We all have that voice that goes in the back of our head. Okay? If that's whispering or yelling at you, making you feel terrible, that's going to be hurting your progress more than anything else, more than what that number says on the scale. Okay? So, I hope this is helpful. I want to ask you one more question, okay? And this is something, what I've realized just from working with all the women inside my coaching program, when we measure progress, okay, if we're measuring it by the scale, and look, I get it. The dieting industry, our culture, that is the number that is used to measure our health, okay? But let's think about this. Back in the mid 1800s, because the scale wasn't even available until just over a century ago, but back in the mid 1800s, no one knew how much they weighed. Scales didn't even, that we could just go get on and weigh ourselves. Those kind of scales, they didn't exist. Everyone was fine, right? They were at relatively healthy weights, okay? So we use the scale as this measurement, and we've learned that from our culture, okay? I would encourage you to start to release that story and start to look at other ways that you can measure your progress, okay? If you know that the healthier version of you eats unprocessed food, walks every day or most days, maybe lifts weights a few times a week, or drinks lots of water, or gets better sleep, right? If you know the healthier version of you does these things, and what those things are is different for each person, depending on where you are in your journey, okay? Whatever those improvements are for you, if the healthier version of you does those things, focus on doing those things with consistency and feel good about that. The number on the scale will shift on its own. Okay, you don't need to go stepping on the scale every morning to find out if it did or not. Okay, because that's not what's going to make you move forward. That's not what's going to change your body. That's not what's going to change your relationship with food. Okay, managing your stress instead of reaching for cookies, right? Moving your body to generate energy to feel better instead of looking for another latte in the afternoon, right? Going to parenting yourself and going to bed at a decent time so you get enough rest throughout the night, get that really deep restorative rest. That's going to move the needle for you a whole lot more than staying up watching Netflix and eating chips and guac. Focus on the habits, the actions that healthier version of you does with consistency, and that's what's going to make the difference for you. Focus on that type of progress, okay? And that's what we do. That's what I do with clients. That's what I encourage you to do. That's what's going to make the difference, okay? And if you need to ask your husband or one of your kids or someone to hide the scale on you, go ahead. That's what I had to do. It still took me a while. It was surprisingly hard. I was very surprised at how hard it was to break up with a scale. But oh my goodness, what a game changer. Okay, so ask yourself, what meaning am I making out of this number that I'm seeing? Is it helping me? And if it's not, consider shifting your focus to what you're actually doing during the day and take a break from the scale. It's not going to measure your progress the way you want it to. It's not going to help you the way that you want it to. Okay? Unless you can truly get on that, see the number, and stay completely objective about it. And if you can do that, fantastic. That's awesome. Then I have no problem with it. If you're attaching meaning to it and it's really tearing you down and making you feel like crap, then please, that's not where you want to be. Okay? So, I hope this was helpful. I will be back in with some more at another time, but if you are watching, please feel free to say hi. Okay, hope you have a great day.